Predominantly defensive in nature and largely reactionary to the British, Continental strategy during the American Revolution ultimately gained independence for the United States. This strategy ran primarily through the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, George Washington. The Virginian was appointed by the Continental Congress in the spring of 1775 following the breakout of hostilities at Lexington and Concord to mold an American army. Washington faced a Herculean task. He had to pull all of the militias then surrounding the city of Boston and form them into a single, coherent army. Washington's first objective as a field commander was to force the British to abandon the city of Boston, which they did ultimately in March of 1776. However, the British, now under the command of Sir William Howe, would come back with a vengeance, and Washington was forced to rush south to defend New York. Through the course of the spring and summer of 1776, reacting largely to Howe's offensives, Washington was driven out of New York and across New Jersey. The cause for independence, the revolution itself, seemed to be on the brink. But Washington recognized one critical fact. As long as he could keep an army in the field, the cause of independence would remain alive. Simply put, Washington could win by merely not losing. And on Christmas night, 1776, he launched an offensive in what would become known as the 10 Crucial Days. He struck back at the British, winning twin victories at Trenton and Princeton, and forcing the British to withdraw back to New York and go into winter quarters. In the spring of 1777, Washington faced two major offensives. The first, led by Sir William Howe, was to capture Philadelphia. The second, led by Sir John Burgoyne, moving south from Canada, was to capture Albany and cut off New York and New England from the rest of the colonies. That fall, the American strategy was turned on its head. Washington lost Philadelphia, the American capital, to Howe. However, the American commander in the north, Horatio Gates, defeated Burgoyne at the battles of Saratoga, and the British were forced to surrender an army operating in North America. The victory at Saratoga prompted France, as well as other European nations, to enter the conflict on the side of a young United States. This marked a great shift in Washington's strategy. Washington understood that the war had gone from a colonial rebellion to a world war, and the British could not maintain their hold on North America while having to defend other parts of their empire. So Washington engaged in a war of exhaustion. He would wear down the British morale, the British army, their supplies, exhaust them, and eat away at the public support in Great Britain for the conflict. Recognizing their inability to destroy Washington's army, the British shifted their focus from the north to the southern colonies. The South's vast economic wealth and a purportedly strong loyalist population prompted the British shift in their strategy, and thus began what is known as the Southern Campaign. By the summer of 1780, the British had a strong hold on South Carolina and were poised to move north. Continental failures prompted the appointment of Major General Nathaniel Greene to command the Southern Department. Greene employed a campaign of exhaustion, which ultimately forced the British to carry the war into Virginia, which began the long road to American victory at Yorktown. Washington's victory at Yorktown convinced the British Parliament that future operations in North America were futile. Peace negotiations between the belligerent nations accelerated, finally ending in the 1783 Treaty of Paris that gave the United States its independence.